You're watching Silver News Daily. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for the best news that you don't want to miss. Now let's get straight to it.
If you go back and look at the prior bull markets of the last 50 years in gold, silver tags along, but quite often during a lot of that bull market, silver flip-flops around. But it's late in those bull trends that silver goes below.
Imagine a world where the underdog of precious metals, silver, not just rises but soars to an astronomical $945 per ounce. This isn't just a wild guess or a fantasy, but a startling prediction made by renowned experts Michael Oliver and Andy Etcheckman. Think about it, silver, often overshadowed by its more glamorous counterpart gold, breaking all records and setting a new standard in the financial markets. How could such an incredible surge in silver's value become a reality? Is it even possible, or just a pipe dream? Ladies and gentlemen, in today's discussion, we're going to unravel this enigma. We'll explore the intricate dynamics of the silver market, the factors that could propel it to these unprecedented heights, and the insights of these financial gurus who dare to make such a bold prediction. It's a journey through the complex world of precious metals, a story of potential, and an insight into what the future could hold. But before we dive into this, I urge you, if you find this topic as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join us on this and many more journeys through the captivating world of finance and investment. Now back to silver. In 2023, silver was like a ship in a storm, tossed around by the waves of market dynamics and global economic trends. The price movements were anything but predictable, and for traders, it was a year full of twists and turns. But for investors, it was a year of disbelief. How could a metal with such potential end the year almost where it started? Silver's unique position in the market is what makes it so intriguing. It's not just another precious metal, it's an industrial powerhouse, a key component in the burgeoning field of green technology. Unlike gold, its journey isn't just dictated by market whims, but also by its practical applications in the real world. But here's something to ponder. What you believe is the true catalyst for silver's potential surge? Is it the market dynamics, its industrial demand, or something else entirely? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation on what could be the most astonishing bull run in the history of silver. Remember, we're not just discussing possibilities here. We're talking about a prediction that could redefine how we view silver. So stay with us, keep engaging, and let's explore together how silver could reach the dizzying heights of $945 per ounce. And remember, this isn't just financial advice, it's a window into a potential future that could change the landscape of precious metals forever. As we delve deeper into the silver saga, it's crucial to understand the underpinnings of this potential bull run. Silver's journey isn't isolated. It's intertwined with a myriad of global economic factors, each playing a pivotal role in shaping its future. The precious metals market, often seen as a haven during turbulent times, is teemed with opportunities and uncertainties alike. Let's start by examining the current state of the silver market. The year 2023 was a noisy one for silver, characterized by significant volatility but ending almost where it began. This paradoxical nature of silver's movement is a clear indicator of the complex forces at play. While some traders felt the thrill of this volatility, long-term investors were left in a state of disbelief. But what causes this? One key driver of silver's value is the interest rate market, particularly in the United States. As interest rates rose, we observed a corresponding dip in silver prices, dropping from around $26.20 to $20.50. It's a dance of economics, where the rise and fall of interest rates play a leading role in the performance of precious metals like silver. But remember, silver isn't gold. This is where many traders trip up. While they often move in tandem, silver has its nuances. It's perpetually undersupplied, yet faces consistent resistance in the market. We can't ignore the historical manipulation by entities like JP Morgan, further adding layers to this already complex market. Moving beyond interest rates, silver's story is also one of industrial demand. It's a key component in green technology, an industry that's only going to grow. With the Federal Reserve potentially loosening monetary policy, could this be a sign of a boost to the economy or an omen of fear? This is where silver's dual nature as an industrial and precious metal comes into play. As we look towards 2024, the crystal ball remains cloudy. The anticipation of interest rate fluctuations, the undercurrents of industrial demand, and the global economic environment all hint at a year that might mimic 2023's unpredictability. Yet, there's a lingering possibility that silver could break its shackles and soar. Now, a quick reminder to our viewers, if you're finding this analysis intriguing and want to stay updated with the latest in finance and investment, Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
In that there are already some asset managers out there, very large ones, the Ray Dalios of the world, Druckenmiller, Gundlach, and so forth, who've expressed views that are pretty clear and sometimes not so clear, but clearly you can imply that they're not real trusting in the stock market. Now, any large portfolio manager running a large fund, you have to be there if it's going up. Okay, so even if you don't like the stock market, you're competing not with the market, but with your competitors, other asset managers. And if they're long the stock market, and despite the narrowness of the advance, they're making money and you're not, it hurts you. So you have to be a buyer, even if you're a doubter. But over time, enough evidence builds up in their minds to where they shift some degree of money into the monetary metals, or more likely into the blue chip gold miners. Not the juniors or the micros, but the blue chips like the Newmont Mining, Barrick Gold, and so forth. Lately, we've seen evidence, technical evidence in our view, that those big blue chip miners, which have underperformed gold since about a year ago. In other words, while gold went into mostly a range-bound situation, they actually declined. They are now turning up credibly. In fact, more so than gold is on a percentage basis compared to like the low that was made a month or two ago, for example. And I think it's evidence that you're getting large asset managers who are not gold bugs now, but who see the monetary consequences of what's out there. They see that the Fed's going to have to soften to protect their bond market, for one thing. They also don't trust the economic metrics, the data points. Besides, those data points always lag the stock market anyway. In other words, it's never at the top that you all of a sudden see all these truckloads of very negative data points. They come in later. So these large professional asset managers, I think, are making that decision to shift. And of course, with gold miners being a very small sector, what does that mean? They're grabbing a wet bar of soap. And that's why we're seeing the blue chip gold miners start to outperform again. So I think it's happening, that transition. And once we get some evidence of rollover again in the stock market, it won't take a lot. You're going to get more of that asset class flow.
In the next part of our discussion, we'll dive into the insights of Michael Oliver and Andy Etcheckman. These are the minds that foresee silver reaching the astonishing price of $945. What do they see that others don't? Stay with us as we unravel the predictions of these financial maestros and their logic behind what could be the biggest bull run in the history of silver. As we venture further into our exploration of silver's potential bull run, it's time to turn our attention to the insights of Michael Oliver and Andy Etcheckman, the visionaries who predict silver's staggering rise to $945. Their perspectives are not just conjectures, but are grounded in a deep understanding of market dynamics and a keen sense of the undercurrents shaping financial trends. Michael Oliver, a prominent figure in momentum structural analysis, brings a unique viewpoint to the table. His analysis goes beyond the superficial layers of market movements. Oliver looks at the intricate relationship between various financial markets, including stocks, bonds, and of course, precious metals like silver. One of his key observations is the unconventional relationship between interest rates and stock market performance. Contrary to popular belief, Oliver points out that fallen interest rates have historically coincided with stock market peaks, challenging the conventional wisdom that rate cuts are always bullish for stocks. But Oliver's insights don't stop there. He delves into the Federal Reserve's historical tendency to lag behind market realities. This lag, he argues, has been a significant factor in creating long-term market bubbles, casting a shadow of skepticism over the current stock market rally. His critical eye extends to the bond market as well, where he predicts a potential short-term rally, but maintains a bearish outlook in the long term. Now let's shift focus to the gold market, a close relative of silver. Oliver's analysis here is particularly intriguing. He highlights the recent movements where gold exceeded $2,100 per ounce, dissecting the dynamics at play. His predictions for 2024 put gold in the spotlight as a prime investment alternative, suggesting that silver might follow suit, especially in the later stages of bull markets as seen in historical trends. Andy Etcheckman, another expert in the field, echoes similar sentiments but adds his unique insights. He emphasizes the global shifts in financial power dynamics, particularly highlighting how central banks are moving away from dollar reliance and increasingly investing in commodities like silver. This, he suggests, marks the dawn of a new era, one that values tangible assets like precious metals over opaque financial instruments. Checkman also points out the growing influence of the BRICS nations and their natural resource wealth, which can play a crucial role in redefining the global financial landscape. He underscores the importance of understanding international events and their impact on financial markets, a perspective often overlooked in American media. The accumulation of gold and silver by central banks, particularly India's significant purchase of silver, is another critical factor highlighted by Keckman. This trend, he believes, signals a shift in the global financial system towards these precious metals. But what does all this mean for silver and its predicted rise to $945? According to Oliver and Keckman, the convergence of these various factors, the interest rate dynamics, the shift in global financial power, the industrial demand for silver, and the historical market patterns all point towards a potential bull run unlike anything we've seen before. Before we proceed to our final segment, another gentle reminder to our viewers: if you're enjoying this deep dive into the silver market and want to stay ahead with insightful financial analysis, make sure to subscribe to our channel. In our next and final segment, we'll bring all these threads together and explore how these factors could converge to make the seemingly impossible prediction of silver reaching $945 a reality. Stay with us as we reach the apex of our discussion, where we break down this extraordinary prediction and what it could mean for investors and the global financial market. As we reach the apex of our discussion on the unprecedented prediction of silver hitting $945, it's time to piece together the puzzle of this potential bull run. We've journeyed through the intricate landscape of the silver market, explored the insights of experts Michael Oliver and Andy Checkman, and delved into the complex interplay of global economic factors. Now, let's bring all these elements together, understand how this remarkable surge in silver's value could become a reality.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're being told that what the Fed just did was signal victory against inflation. Yet they're signaling, in my opinion, they're waving the white flag, and here they are with the CPI showing 4% on inflation. Yet their target is 2%. So they're stopping their assault on inflation when they're still only half the way there. Reigniting perhaps inflation, and I think it's an ominous sign. To me, it is not something to be celebrated. It's something to be very, very concerned about. And when you look at John Williams of Shadow Stats, he'll tell you, even using the 1990 adjustment to the CPI, not even the 1980 where the numbers were more accurate, we're still at 8% on the 1990, 10% on the 1980 measurement of inflation. So when you talk about going the other direction, pivoting, and up to 3 cuts in 2024, we're a long ways away from their target. It seems to me they're giving up on inflation. They're doing what all governments have done, choosing the printing press over austerity. And there's even dissension amongst the ranks in the Fed, where the other John Williams, not the one from Shadow Stats, but the Fed economist, says, it's actually irresponsible for us to be thinking about cuts in 2024. We still need to make sure that we've got a hold on inflation. So there's misinformation, and then there's just complete, flat out being wrong. And they've been wrong on inflation for the last 2-3 years. First, there was no inflation, and then it was transitory, whatever that meant. Then it was structural. Then we've got it licked, and now maybe we don't. And the bottom line is that you can't rely on the information we're being given from any of these entities that are supposedly giving us the scoop. And I think you have to kind of take a step back and see what the biggest players in the world are doing. And the biggest players are the central banks who are massively de-dollarizing and buying commodities. And I think that's kind of the thrust that fits hand in glove with Zoltan Pozsar said. We are heading into a new era based on commodities and transparency, not opaque debt instruments and promises that seem to fall short. And I just think that this is something that...
First, let's revisit the unique characteristics of silver. Unlike gold, silver's value is not just anchored in its status as a precious metal, but is also bolstered by its industrial demand. This dual nature positions silver uniquely in the market. As we move towards a greener future, silver's role in green technology could be a significant driver of its demand and, consequently, its price. Interest rates play a pivotal role in the narrative of silver. As we've seen, the relationship between interest rates and precious metals is inversely proportional. The Federal Reserve's actions in the coming year, especially regarding interest rate adjustments, will be crucial in determining silver's trajectory. A shift towards lower interest rates could ignite a rally in the silver market, as historically seen. The global shift towards commodities and away from dollar reliance, as highlighted by Andy Checkman, is another critical factor. The accumulation of silver by central banks, particularly in emerging economic powers like the BRICS nations, signals a growing recognition of silver's value in the global financial landscape. This trend could significantly contribute to silver's price escalation. Now, let's consider the predictions of Michael Oliver. His analysis of market trends and historical patterns suggests that silver could outperform gold in the later stages of bull markets. Given the current global economic climate and the historical precedents, this scenario is not just a mere possibility, but a plausible outcome. Bringing these factors together, the picture becomes clearer. The combination of increased industrial demand, changing global financial dynamics, and historical market trends sets the stage for a potential massive bull run in silver. While reaching $945 might seem ambitious, the convergence of these powerful forces could indeed propel silver to new heights. Before we conclude, remember, this is not financial or investment advice, but an exploration of a fascinating possibility in the world of precious metals. For those keen on staying informed and ahead in the financial world, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. To all our viewers, thank you for joining us on this journey through the complex and intriguing world of silver. The possibility of witnessing the biggest bull run in its history is not just a matter of speculation, but a scenario grounded in sound logic and a deep understanding of market dynamics. As we look towards 2024, the silver market is certainly one to watch closely. Stay tuned for more insights and analysis, and until next time, keep an eye on the silver lining in the financial markets.